Hello again, everyone. This is Shawn Mercado, aka Merc, back again with another DJ tutorial. Today, we're going to be using Rekordbox like last time, but we're going to be focusing on harmonic mixing and preparing for your sets. That means getting ready for transitions, figuring out what songs work together really well, and so on. Like I said, today we're going to be back in Rekordbox, and I'm also going to be using Mixed Key. Mixed Key is a great program for analyzing the keys of audio files. So what I've done so far is drop these 3 tracks into Mixed Key and found out based on the Camelot Wheel what key they're in, which is why I'm getting 11A, 11A, and 10A. Now, what that is it corresponds to certain keys on the circle of fifths or the Camelot Wheel. So for the first 2 tracks, we're sitting right here in 11A, and then we're moving down to 10A. Now, the way this wheel works, and I will bring up the full circle of fifths, is that there's a couple different ways Mixed Key will read and display the notation of the key of your track. So if you want to, you can have it analyze your tracks and give you the actual key, which would be, if you're in 10A, which would be B minor, or you could have it just say 10A. Now, when you're mixing music together and you're mixing based off of fifths and you're staying in the same key, the way this works is you can, if I'm in 10A B minor, I can either stay in this box and just stay in B minor, or I can move up to F sharp minor, I can keep going to D flat minor, I can jump out and go to E major, I can go to any box that is neighboring that box on the wheel. So I can't jump diagonally from, for example, F sharp minor to D major. That would clash pretty badly. But it just works best if you stay in the same box, maybe just jump out to a neighboring box that's major, or move next door to like E minor, for example, if you're in 10A. So I've dragged the tracks into Mixed Key. I figured out the keys of the tracks, and what's really cool about Mixed Key is that you can change the preferences and the way that the key notation is listed. So, like I mentioned, right now I have it listing Camelot just for ease of organizing tracks and preparing your set. You can also have it list in flats, example G flat minor, or sharps F flat minor, or F sharp minor, excuse me. Whatever's good for you. I mean, if you don't have a whole lot of music theory experience, you might want to just go with Camelot so that you can just reference, okay, I'm in 11A, I can go to 10A, then I can go 9A, then jump out to 9B, and then 10B, 11B, and so on. So I have these tracks right here. The first 2 are in 11A, the third one is in 10A, so they should work out pretty well. Now, what's really cool about Rekordbox is I can go up here in the top right and I can change the mode to kind of test out this transition. Now, this isn't by any means a good way to DJ. This is just a good way to test out your transitions. So we switched to dual track mode, or dual track player. And so now we can see we can put a track on the top and a track on the bottom. On the left-hand side, we have a small crossfader. We don't have any EQs or anything. Like I said, this is just for testing out transitions, but now I can start to see in which part of the song I can do my transition, or what will work out best. So I'm going to start out with one of my new remixes of a Janet Jackson track on top, and I'm going to come into this next track up in the club and hopefully time out with this 16-bar intro that's on the next track, and time that out with the last 16 bars of my drop in my track. So, like in the first tutorial I posted, we can set a memory location there to let us know maybe when to start the next track. So right off the bat, I know this intro is 16 bars. There's a 16-bar breakdown or build, and then there's 8 and another 16. So this is a 24-bar drop. So I can go to maybe the spot in the track where that next 16 starts, which might be right here. Let's see. and it's going to be right there. When this first little red marker hits, that's what signifies the 1. So I can hit Q to jump to that spot. Remember what quantize is, that'll just clean you up and stick you right on the grid. Now that I've hit Q, I can hit memory, and it stores that memory location there. So now I have kind of a mental note on where I want to start my next track. So I have the crossfader completely on the top track. I have my bottom track ready. Sync is on. Sync, normally people look down upon it, but this is just for means of testing out tracks and transitions. So you're just DJing by clicking around a mouse. So using sync is totally fine. Don't be ashamed of it. So we can let this track play, and then right when that memory location comes up, I'm going to start this next track, and then I will slowly start fading over the crossfader to show you that these tracks that are in the same key just sound really well together and really cohesive. So let's go ahead and start this. Getting ready to start the next track. Okay, so it worked out pretty well. I mean, like I said before, you're kind of just testing this out. I'm clicking around with a mouse and DJing by clicking my mouse. So, of course, your EQs you don't have EQs, and it's not going to be super smooth, but it's definitely a really good way to test out your transitions. And I can do the next thing for the same track, but really, I mean, the point here is just workflow. So open up a playlist. I have this one labeled DJ tutorial just for means of this tutorial. You grab the tracks that you think you want to play, or the tracks that you are interested in the tracks that you've been working on and want to play for your set. Bring them into Rekordbox, and then you can kind of just get an idea of what you want to play, drag that into mixing key, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So if I open up mixing key, right away, it just gives me a nice little box right here just to drag files into. So I can drag songs in there, it'll analyze them, and then give me the keys. So if I wanted to, I could select these 3 tracks, drag them straight into mixing key, and you will see that it will start processing the tracks. Now, I've already analyzed these, so it has the keys already listed, but this is kind of just what mixing key does. You drag tracks in here, it analyzes them really quick, processes them, and then it instantly just gives you the key, which is listed in the Camelot Wheel notation because that's what I selected, and gives you tempo, energy, cue points, all of that, which is extremely helpful because then I can just drag these tracks into my Rekordbox playlist, see that, okay, 11A, 10A, 11A, 9A, 7A, so on. And then I can kind of see, okay, well, if I had a track that was 9A, I couldn't really work it in with the 7A, and I need a 8A to go in between them, and so on. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Mixing Key is a great software. Rekordbox does analyzing of keys as well. It is kind of up in the air on which one of these programs is more accurate, but Mixing Key is a great software, and it's kind of just made just for that. So I think that is what works best. So thank you guys. Until next time, I will see you soon.
Very much like to thank Pyramind for hosting me here once again. I think this institution is really cool, and until I came here for the first time, I had never seen anything like it in my whole life.
What I think really separates us from other people who teach is that we are outrageously passionate about what we do, and especially in electronic music.
Since coming to Pyramind, I've discovered electronic music, and San Francisco being a mecca for underground electronic music opened up so many doors for me, and kind of blew my mind.
We cover everything from absinthe to contact. When people get to the mind-melting level, we get into modular synthesis.
Everything about native instruments, everything about Logic synths, down to the finest detail. We learned it all.
The fundamentals of understanding how things work, that's just essential. But then beyond that, there's so much more, and that's where it gets into just a lot of the artistic side of like the creative approach of why you do something, not just how.
There's a lot of schools that just, they focus on the technicality of recording music, but I wanted something that would foster creativity and really help me develop as an artist as well.
Each of our genre-specific programs comes in 4 levels. There's a basic, an advanced, a professional, and then a master's level. And the master's level is, of course, everything we do. It's the largest and most powerful programs that we can create for you.